Chairperson, one of the critical issues currently that were faced by local government is that we are in a system that is collapsing, speedily. We're in a system where the public has lost confidence in it, in terms of what the Constitution Section 152 expected of it, but also what has been practically on the ground. And I would pick one of the areas that Dr. Kaywood spoke to and emphasize on two areas: the issue of the professionalization of the sector. She called it a depoliticisation, but I want to pick one aspect, which for me is the issue of the professionalization. Largely, the sector is unprofessional at the moment, and largely in the sector, there's less emphasis on the question of ethics. Although there is a code of conduct for both councillors and officials, but there is no strong emphasis in terms of ensuring that we're able to implement that and take consequences, which lead to the sector not being able to meet its own noble objectives as they are contained in 5 objects of local government, but also in various pieces of legislation, be it the Municipal Structures Act, be it the Systems Act, Municipal Finance Management Act, and a plethora of other legislation that has been promulgated so far. But also in the question of funding, the sector is seriously underfunded, Chair, because as Dr. Kaywood was presenting, she did touch on the fact that from the white paper of 1998, there's an expectation that we must raise 90% of the revenue. That's a lofty ideal, but that from the ground, it has not been achieved. One, because there is a culture, Chair, of non-payment from our communities. You recall that yourself, you will recall, Chair, and other activities like Dr. Ngubane, Professor Ngubane would recall that there was a campaign of Asinamana, where people were not paying because they were rebelling against a particular system. And now when the new government took over, it came up with Masakane program, but that program has never been succeeded, or there's never been a much more emphasis given to that. Our community chairpersons are not paying for services. They are not paying it. Even people who can afford to pay, we are the last to be considered at the end of the month. And you'll find that their own municipality in a very big time. Hence, you will find an ever-increasing debt. Even government is not paying us. I was listening to Minister Hlabisa this morning, being interviewed on Morning Live in preparation for another session of the white paper, where he was indicating that one of the biggest challenges is that even government, itself provincial and national, are not paying us. So if government is not paying us, who is going to pay us? But for me, Chairperson, we have to work very hard to depoliticize the sector. It is highly politicized, Chairperson. As you sit in office, you get somebody coming here from a branch or whichever, a region, and giving you instruction as a municipal manager. When you differ with that particular instruction, a municipal manager is summoned in the afternoon, and you find these guys there. I recall a situation in Umzimkhulu, when I became a municipal manager. There was a structure there, Chairperson, that was called the core, where there were leaders there. So the mayor calls me one day into that meeting, and the core is calling you. So when I came into the meeting, I found only municipal officials. I refused to sit in that structure, Chairperson, because those people were expected to be at work. I was expecting them to be. I said to them, I can't account to my municipal officials, regardless of what positions do they hold anywhere. I refused the chair, and I left the meeting. That was the collapse. That was the collapse of that particular structure, because I refused to go to that part. And I told the mayor that if you dare call me to such meetings, I'm going to raise that with the MEC. So we have to ensure, Chairperson, that there is this focus. There is this focus on service delivery. There is this focus on serving the people. But there is too much politics, Chairperson, to the extent where unqualified people are appointed. Unqualified, the Chairperson, in terms of qualifications, unqualified in terms of experience, and Cocta in terms of concurrence. Gives concurrence. Because the MEC has been phoned to say that is our candidate. The MEC can't protect the sector, the MEC approves. People are unqualified. There is one incident in one municipality where a particular person's matric was questioned. And when this matric qualification was questioned, the Chairperson, that person ran away and resigned. But later, this particular individual come back, he's carrying a master's degree and is appointed. And the same Cocta that queried the matric allowed that person to serve as a municipal manager. The question is, what happened to that matric qualification that was under question? So the system is collapsing, Chairperson. And the third issue I would like to agree with Dr. Kaywood is that indeed we have too many municipalities. 257 municipalities, Chair. You know, in my case, there is a Pito municipality and Knysna. You know, Knysna has 21 councillors. Pito has about, I think, 11 or so councillors. Why can't you combine the two? Why do you have two municipal managers, two mayors, and all that in such small entities? So, unless we are committed, let's ensure that these municipalities are few, they are better resourced, they've got councillors who have got right qualifications, they've got staff who have got right qualifications so that they can be able to deliver. At the moment, what we have, Chairperson, is not assisting us. Even if you can pump billions and billions of rands, the sector is not going to deliver as long as it is in this way. So this is an opportunity then to ensure that we are able to reshape the structure, because we've got this 25-year experience behind us that we can use to reflect, and we are using it to reflect Zolani. So for me, it's quite critical that indeed we must put our foot down and ensure that the sector is able to regain the confidence of the public. At the moment, Chairperson, if you go to a by-election, you look at the turn-up, people are disinterested, Chairperson. A councillor is elected by less than 10%, 20% of the registered voters, not the population of the world, of the registered voters. So you can say there's no mandate, you know? So why? But because people are disillusioned, because the municipalities are not delivering to the communities that they are expected to deliver. Thank you very much, Chair. Let me hold there at the moment.